word to expand a park and ride area in Salem. VDOT is having to excavate and move 22 graves sitting next to it.
Now, I'll tell you, at this point, no one knows who the graves belong to or if there are any living descendants. And VDOT says it has obtained a court order to complete the work, but some members of the community still aren't happy about this. WSLS 10's Rob Manch has the details.
No one seems to know the exact age of the Dooley Blankenship Cemetery here in Salem, but it was first rediscovered back in the 1970s when this park and ride area was first put into place. Now, as you can see, archaeologists have been working to excavate what's left of the people buried here, which, for some in the community, creates an ethical problem. VDOT spokesman Jason Bond says the $2.6 million expansion is necessary.
This park and ride lot is extremely well used. It serves as a bus stop for the SmartWay bus, and it's just reached its capacity. It's always filled. There's just not enough spaces there.
And with roads on 3 sides of the lot, Bond says expanding into the graveyard that covers about 1/10 of an acre was the only option.
We try to avoid it. We take steps to design around it. We always try to avoid when we can, but in this case, we really just didn't have a choice.
Before beginning the dig, Bond says VDOT made sure everything was taken care of legally.
And then we obtain a court order that shows that we are permitted to do this work. We also coordinate with Department of Historic Resources. In this case, the site was not eligible for inclusion in the National Register of Historic Places.
Bond says they placed a notice in the paper asking if anyone had relatives buried there, but got no responses. Even so, he says they've received complaints. One man who used to live right across the street says he's against the move.
It doesn't make any sense to me. We don't need a sidewalk. We don't even need a bigger park and ride. But these people, I mean, they were laid to rest. So does this really have to happen?
Bond says through the excavation, the team uncovered some personal items and human teeth, which will all be transferred to a vault in the East Hill Cemetery. But he says he wants people to know it was done as carefully as possible.
I don't want people to think that we just went out there and encountered it and needed to move it, and that highway workers are just relocating a cemetery. There is quite a bit of research that goes into that. There are archaeologists on scene that are coordinating that.
Bond says the archaeological firm Lewis Berger was paid $230,000 to complete the excavation. He says construction on the expansion of the park and ride area will begin next year. In Salem, Rob Manch, WSLS 10.